Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about fashion algorithms.
Oh.
And we have a pretty interesting story for you today, actually, all about a company called About You.
Mm-hmm.
But first, a word from today's sponsor, Cloudfit.ai.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing some very cool things with AI to help fashion brands boost user engagement and increase revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about them like the secret weapon behind some of your favorite online shopping experiences. And that kind of sets the stage for what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
We're going behind the scenes with insights from the founder of About You, a European fashion e-commerce giant you may not be familiar with yet.
Yeah. Okay.
This founder has a really unique perspective on
Yeah.
building a successful fashion brand in the digital age. And trust me, there are some serious aha moments coming your way.
Yeah.
So to start off,
Yeah.
you might be surprised to learn that About You has actually quietly become a major powerhouse in the European fashion market.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's so fascinating about this is the growth trajectory.
Oh, yeah.
It's just incredible. In just 9 years, they went from 0 to 5 billion in gross merchandise value, or GMV as they call it.
Wow.
To put that in perspective,
That's wild.
their market valuation surpasses that of ASOS and Boohoo combined.
Huge.
And they're currently operating in 28 European countries.
That is massive.
Yeah.
So clearly they're doing something right. What is the secret
Right.
to their success?
So the founder talks about the evolution of e-commerce
Right.
in a way that I think is a really helpful framework to understand what has happened
Yeah.
in the industry. The first generation, so let's say the Amazon era, focused heavily on assortment and fulfillment.
All right.
The goal was to just offer as many products as possible and get them to customers quickly.
This is all about convenience and
Yeah,
selection.
Exactly.
Right.
Then came the second generation, led by companies like ASOS, that focused on improving the user experience
Okay.
by offering more detailed product information.
So shifting from a massive digital warehouse to a more curated shopping experience.
Exactly. Now we're in the middle of what we call e-commerce 3.0. And this is where About You really shines.
Okay.
They've taken personalization and entertainment to a whole new level to make online shopping truly engaging and I'd say even fun.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
They're not just selling clothes, they're creating an experience.
Yeah.
But how do they actually build that sense of engagement?
Yeah.
Especially with the younger, more digitally savvy generations.
One of the things I find really impressive about them is their approach to influencer marketing.
Okay.
It's a very data-driven approach. They track over 25,000 influencers, analyzing their audience demographics and engagement metrics.
So it's not just about partnering with the
Yeah.
biggest names out there. They're actually being
It's a very strategic approach.
strategic about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they often start small. They start with what they call haul collaborations.
What's that?
Imagine an influencer orders a bunch of items from About and then presents their favorite picks to their followers.
Like a virtual shopping spree.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
low pressure, it's low risk. And it gives them data
Right.
on traffic reach and how the audience is reacting.
So gut feelings
Mhm.
aren't driving the decisions.
No, it's really data.
It's about the data.
Exactly. Based on the success of these haul collaborations, they decide on long-term partnerships.
Interesting. So what happens if the numbers look promising
Mm-hmm.
from these haul collaborations?
Then they might offer them a contract where they say, we want you to do X number of posts,
Okay.
maybe X number of appearances for this, we pay you this and that. So you get, as an influencer, a stable income, and you get the chance to really collaborate with a big brand.
It's mutually beneficial.
Yeah,
I would imagine that exclusivity adds to the appeal.
yeah.
Definitely.
It creates this
Yeah.
scarcity and desirability, and then it goes beyond Instagram posts. They actually often work on content creation videos, blog posts, even editorial spreads together. So they're tapping into the influencer's creativity and their unique voice to really connect with a wider audience.
Totally, because these influencers have built very strong relationships with their followers.
Yeah,
This content actually feels authentic.
right.
It doesn't feel like an ad campaign.
It's like getting a recommendation
Okay.
from someone you trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredibly valuable.
It is super valuable.
So earlier we talked about the House of Cards strategy for launching exclusive products.
Mm-hmm.
How does that tie into these influencer partnerships?
So they take this even a step further
Okay.
and bring the influencers into the design process.
Interesting.
So they work with, let's say, a popular musician
Okay.
to create a limited edition clothing line. or with a beauty influencer to develop a new makeup collection.
So it's not just about endorsing existing products. Exactly. It's about co-creation.
It's about co-creating something
Yeah.
new and unique. And
this is exclusive to the About You platform.
Okay.
So it generates a huge influx of traffic.
Oh, wow.
Because people want these products, and they can only get them on About You.
It's brilliant. They're tapping into existing fan bases
Totally.
and creating even more buzz.
Yeah, and then the influencer continues promoting the products even after the launch. Wears them in social media posts.
Got it.
Creates content. So it's a sustained...
It's like this self-perpetuating cycle of hype and demand.
Exactly, and everybody wins.
Yeah.
The influencer wins because they can expand their brand. About You wins because they reach a new audience, and the consumers get exclusive products.
It's a masterclass.
It is.
In influencer marketing, for sure.
Yeah, I think they've really mastered it.
So they've mastered influencer marketing.
Yeah.
And they don't stop there. Remember those physical events we talked about?
Exactly. They also bring the brand to life in the real world.
What kind of events are we talking about here?
They host a variety of events.
Okay.
From their own fashion week to massive music festivals like About You Pangea. They even have award shows to celebrate influential figures in fashion and entertainment.
So they're creating these really immersive experiences that go beyond just shopping.
Exactly.
It's about fostering a sense of community and belonging, something you can't really replicate online.
You can't.
And I imagine they're strategic about the locations as well.
Yeah, definitely choosing locations that are relevant to their target audience.
Right.
Like locations that align with their brand values.
It's more than just throwing a party.
Totally.
It's about reinforcing their brand identity.
Absolutely.
And really resonating with their audience on another level.
And all of these events generate tons of social media buzz.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, people share photos, videos, stories.
It's like a marketing.
It is.
Multiplier effect.
It is, and it builds emotional connections with the audience because people remember these shared experiences.
It becomes less about the transactions.
Totally.
And more about really transforming perceptions.
Yeah.
You're building relationships.
Yeah, they're creating memories.
Okay, so they've mastered influencer marketing.
Yeah.
They've created immersive experiences.
Totally.
And they've implemented that hyper-localized approach. What else are they doing that makes them stand out?
I think their proprietary technology platform is also a key differentiator.
Okay, we talked about Scaley, which is the e-commerce platform they offer to other brands.
Yeah.
Tell me more about their internal tech stack.
Yeah, their internal tech stack is very impressive.
Okay.
They built their own platform from scratch,
Wow.
which gives them a lot of flexibility and control.
So they're not relying on third-party providers?
Exactly.
They're in complete control.
Yes, and it allows them to personalize this shopping experience down to the individual user.
Wow.
And scale rapidly to meet the demands of the business.
That is a game changer.
Yeah.
It's like having a custom-built race car versus driving a rental car.
Totally. And it gives them a significant competitive advantage.
So they've nailed the tech, the marketing, the events, hyper-localization. It sounds like they've covered all the bases.
Yeah, they've really built a very strong formula for success.
But let's shift gears here for a second and bring it back to our listeners.
Yeah.
What are the key takeaways here?
Yeah.
What can other fashion brands learn from About You's journey?
I think the biggest takeaway is that e-commerce has evolved way beyond just setting up an online store.
Yeah.
It's really about crafting a complete brand experience.
So it's about creating a world that people want to be a part of.
Exactly. And to achieve this, you need a strategic blend of technology, marketing, and creativity.
So it's not enough to just offer great products.
No.
You need to tell a compelling story.
Yeah.
Connect with influencers.
Yeah.
Create engaging content.
Totally.
And provide a really seamless shopping experience across all channels.
Across all channels.
Okay.
And you need to think globally but act locally. You need to tailor your approach to each market.
Yeah.
Understand the nuances of culture, language, and consumer preferences.
It's a lot to manage.
It is.
But the rewards can be significant.
Yeah, absolutely. The brands succeeding in e-commerce today are the ones that embrace this holistic approach.
They're building communities, not just selling products.
Exactly.
Okay, well, as we wrap up this first section, our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this. To make your brand more engaging,
Yeah.
and personalized for your target audience.
I love that.
It doesn't have to be this massive overhaul.
Yeah.
Even small changes can have a big impact.
Absolutely. Experiment, iterate, and keep learning.
Okay.
The e-commerce landscape is changing constantly.
Right.
So stay curious and stay ahead of the curve.
Great advice.
Yeah, it really is about creating those connections. You know, like we said with those influencers, it feels authentic. It doesn't feel forced.
So you mentioned their data-driven approach to actually identifying the right influencers.
Yeah.
What does a typical partnership actually look like?
So they use this multi-tiered approach.
Okay.
It often starts with what they call a haul collaboration.
Okay.
Imagine an influencer orders a bunch of clothes from About It. He presents their favorite pics to their followers.
Like a virtual shopping spree with a friend?
Precisely. It's low pressure, and it allows them to gather data
Okay.
on, traffic reach.
Okay, so gut feelings aren't driving these decisions.
No, it's all data-driven.
It's about the data.
Exactly. And based on the success of these haul collaborations, they then decide on longer-term partnerships.
Interesting. What happens if the numbers look promising from these haul collaborations?
Then they might offer them a contract and say, okay, we want you to do X number of posts,
Okay.
or maybe X number of appearances. In return, we pay you this and that.
Okay.
You get, as an influencer, a stable income. You get the chance to really collaborate with a big brand.
It sounds like it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Totally.
I imagine that exclusivity adds to the appeal.
It does, definitely, both sides.
Because it creates this scarcity and desirability, and it goes beyond just Instagram posts.
Okay.
They often actually work together on content creation videos,
Wow.
blog posts, even editorial spreads.
So they're really tapping into that influencer's creativity,
Cool.
a unique voice to connect with a wider audience.
Yes, because these influencers have built these very strong relationships with their followers.
Right.
The content feels authentic.
Right. It doesn't feel like a traditional...
It's like getting a recommendation from someone you trust.
Totally.
And I think that trust factor is incredibly valuable.
Super valuable.
Earlier, we touched upon their House of Cards strategy
Oh, yeah.
for launching these exclusive products. How does that tie into these influencer partnerships?
So they take this even a step further and actually bring the influencers into the design process.
Interesting.
So they work with, let's say, a popular musician
Okay.
to create a limited edition clothing line, or with a beauty influencer
Okay.
to develop a new makeup collection.
So it's not just about endorsing existing products.
It's really about co-creation.
It's about co-creating
Yeah.
something new,
Yeah.
unique, and desirable.
Yeah. And this is exclusive to the About You platform.
Right.
So it generates a huge influx of traffic
Wow.
because people want these products and they can only get them about you.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
They're tapping into existing fan bases
Cool.
and creating even more buzz.
And then the influencer continues promoting the products even after the launch, wears them in their social media posts,
Got it.
creates content around the collaboration.
So it's a sustained marketing effort
Totally. It's self-perpetuating.
to really drive that hype and demand.
Exactly. And everybody wins.
Yeah.
The influencer wins because they get to expand their personal brand.
Right.
Wins because they get a new audience. The consumers get exclusive products.
It's really a masterclass.
Yeah, I think they really mastered it.
Yeah. Influencer marketing, for sure.
Yeah.
So we talked about the mastery of influencer marketing.
Yeah.
And remember those physical events?
Exactly. They also bring the brand to life in the real world.
What kind of events are we talking about here?
They host a variety of events, from their own fashion week to massive music festivals like About You Pangea.
Wow.
They even have award shows to celebrate influential figures in fashion and entertainment.
So they're creating these really immersive experiences that go beyond just shopping.
Exactly.
It's about fostering a sense of community and belonging.
Yeah.
Something you can't replicate online.
You can't.
And I imagine they're very strategic about the locations.
They are. They're choosing locations that are relevant to their target audience,
Right.
that align with their brand values.
It's more than just throwing a party.
Totally.
It's about reinforcing their brand identity.
Absolutely.
And really resonating with their audience.
Exactly. And all of these events generate tons of social media buzz.
Oh, I bet.
People share photos, videos, Stories.
It's like a marketing multiplier.
Totally.
Yeah.
It is. And it builds these emotional connections with the audience because
Yeah.
people remember these shared experiences.
It becomes less about the transactions and more about transforming perceptions and building those relationships.
They're creating memories, not just sales feeds.
Right. Okay, so they've mastered influencer marketing. They've created immersive experiences. They've also implemented that hyper-localized approach. What else are they doing that really makes them stand out?
So I think their proprietary technology platform is a key differentiator as well.
Okay, we talked about Scale,
Yeah.
which is the e-commerce platform they offer to other brands.
Yeah.
Tell me more about their internal tech stack.
So their internal tech stack is very impressive.
Okay.
They actually built their own platform from scratch.
Wow.
Which gives them a lot of flexibility and control.
So they're not relying on
They're not
third-party providers. They're in complete control.
Yes, and it allows them to personalize the shopping experience down to the individual user and scale rapidly to meet the demands of the business.
That's a game changer. Like having a custom-built race car versus driving a rental car.
Totally. It gives them a significant competitive advantage.
So they've nailed the tech,
Yeah.
the marketing, the events, hyper-localization, it sounds like.
Yeah.
They've covered all the bases.
Yeah, they've really built a very strong formula for success.
But let's shift gears for a second and
Yeah.
bring it back to our listeners.
Yeah.
What are the key takeaways here?
Yeah.
What can other fashion brands learn from AboutYou's journey?
So I think the biggest takeaway is that e-commerce has evolved
Okay.
way beyond just setting up an online store. It's really about crafting a complete brand experience.
It's about creating a world that people want to be a part of.
Exactly.
Okay.
And to achieve this, you need a strategic blend of technology, marketing, and creativity.
So it's not enough to just offer great products.
No.
You need to tell a compelling story.
You need to connect with influencers.
You need to create engaging content.
Totally.
And you need to provide a seamless shopping experience.
Across all channels.
Across all channels.
Yeah, and you need to think globally but act locally.
Mm-hmm.
You need to tailor your approach to each market.
Right.
Understand the nuances of culture, language, consumer preferences.
It's a lot to manage.
It is, but the rewards can be significant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The brands that are succeeding in e-commerce today are really the ones that are embracing this holistic approach.
Yeah, they're building community.
They're building communities, not just selling products.
Exactly.
So as we're wrapping up this section of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
I love that.
What's one thing that you can do this week to make your brand more engaging and personalized for your target audience? It doesn't have to be a massive overhaul.
No.
Even small changes can have a big impact.
Absolutely. Experiment, iterate, and keep learning. The e-commerce landscape is changing constantly.
Right.
So stay curious and stay ahead of the curve.
That's great advice. Welcome back to our deep dive into About You. It's amazing how they've managed to stay ahead of the curve in such a rapidly evolving industry.
Yeah, their commitment to experimentation and innovation is really remarkable. They're constantly pushing boundaries. You know, they're not afraid to try new things.
They're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Exactly, and that's been a major driver of their success.
They're always looking for ways to improve the customer experience, make online shopping more engaging, more personalized.
They're constantly testing new features, experimenting with emerging technologies, and just looking for ways to enhance every aspect of the shopping journey.
They're like the pioneers of fashion e-commerce.
Yeah.
Always venturing into uncharted territory.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. But it's not just about blind experimentation. Their approach to innovation is very data-driven. They're not just throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Okay.
They use data and analytics to inform their decisions.
So it's calculated risk-taking.
Exactly.
They're willing to step outside their comfort zone,
Yeah.
but they're doing so with a clear strategy and a commitment to learning from their experiences.
And I think that's what sets them apart from many other brands.
I think so too.
They're not afraid to make mistakes, but they're also quick to learn from those mistakes and adapt their approach. And that agility is crucial.
Especially in today's.
Yeah, in today's fast-paced world.
Fast-paced world.
Yeah.
About You is really a prime example of a company that has mastered that.
They've mastered it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into About You's incredible journey, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
We've explored their success story.
Mm-hmm.
But every brand is unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
What works for About you might not work for another brand.
Totally. Every company has its own unique identity, target audience, and market dynamics to consider.
But there are some universal lessons we can all glean from their experience.
For sure.
The importance of personalization, the power of influencer, marketing the need for a seamless customer experience across all channels, the willingness to embrace experimentation and innovation. These are all valuable insights.
Yeah, for sure.
That can be applied across industries.
Essential ingredients for success.
So think critically about your own brand.
Yeah.
What are the needs and desires of your customers? How can you create a brand experience that really resonates with them on a personal level?
Yeah, don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom. Think outside the box.
Right.
Explore new possibilities.
The future of e-commerce belongs to those who dare to push boundaries.
Absolutely.
And create truly unforgettable experiences.
For sure.
For their customers.
I love that.
Well, I want to extend my gratitude to you, our expert, for joining us today and sharing these incredible insights.
It's my pleasure.
And to all of our amazing listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of fashion e-commerce.
Yeah.
And the remarkable success story of About You.
Absolutely.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and inspiring. Be sure to share this episode with anyone who loves smarter fashion tech. And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more fascinating conversations.
Yeah.
With the world's most innovative thinkers and doers.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious, stay creative.
I love it.
And keep those algorithms humming.